We're actually all on time. All right. Well, welcome to Silicon Valley Center for Spiritual Living. I'm so happy to be here and to be with you all, both in the room and online. My name is Audrey White. I am Vice President of the board and a prac student. And so grateful to be here. I'll be leading the meditation. So I just invite you to get settled into where you are at right this very moment. And we will settle into about a 20-minute meditation, mostly silent, but a little bit of guidedness. So I just invite you to be where you are. Allow your mind to settle in, focusing on your breath. Not changing anything, just noticing, witnessing. And I invite you in to just allow your body to sink into the chair wherever you're at. Allow it to feel that support. Know that you are supported. And as you show up here in this sacredness, into this sacred moment, you're showing up for yourself. You're showing up for your community. You are showing up for your family. You are showing up for the world. And the more we show up for ourselves in this quiet stance, connected to the one source, the one God, the one power, the one intelligence that created all, we can fully show up for ourselves and the world. So taking a breath in and releasing. And another breath in and a release. And this third breath in, really be conscious of it, breathing all the way into your belly. And a full release. So coming into stillness, into silence. If your mind wanders and connects to different sounds around you, just come back to your breath. Come back to the knowingness of your spirit connected to the earth and to all of creation. For we are one here. And I invite you in to just take another deep breath. Come into the center of your being, knowing that you are connected to the One just as the One is connected to you. And harness that light and let it grow internally. Feel it in the center of your being. And as you breathe, let it expand around you. This beautiful golden light, this divine light. And sensing that light around you, wrapped in you, expanded around you. This is your safe place. This is your sacred place. And breathing in, settling into that golden light and that connection. And I invite you in even deeper, knowing that we are connected to the one source of all creations, the seen, the unseen, and everything that we can imagine and more. There's one power, one source, one presence, this divine God, divine spirit that moves through and is everything and everyone. And this divine creation moves through me as it moves through you. And together we create this beautiful container, this beautiful community where we show up for ourselves. We show up for the divine so that that flow moves through us and lives through us. And I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for this knowing, for this connection, for the ability to show up, for the knowingness to show up. And with great gratitude and joy, I just release this into the Word, into the law, into Source itself. And together we say, and so it is. So our service will be starting in about 10 minutes. You can stretch a little bit. We'll have a little bit of music, and we'll be back shortly.
Did you like that? Oh, yes. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much.
In a great spiritual nightclub.
And that's what we're going for.
Yes, a spiritual nightclub, just jamming.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to get it started with our congregational song, One Big Family, and I know you know the words. So
the
sing
words
along
involve
with
getting
us.
up on your feet.
That's right. We can do that too. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you so much. That is our house band, The Core. We have Sonia Trejo, who is our music director. We have, yes, Sonia. We have Rodrigo Avila, who is on keys and guitar. And we have Jenna Brown, who is the praise team. Fantastic. So we are this morning going to move into our call to service. Joni Quintal, practitioner in training, is going to ring us in.
Good morning. Oh, if you'll just take a deep breath with me, feel the seat supporting you, feel your feet on the ground, and allow the vibration of this bowl to reverberate throughout your soul for the remainder of the day.
And as we just listen to and absorb the resonant sounds of the bowl, I neglected to say welcome to Silicon Valley Center for Spiritual Living. Hi. And I'm Reverend Rasheryl McCreary, your senior minister, and I'm glad to be here. So let's turn within for prayer, shall we? And so as we turn within, just simply returning to the presence that always shows up, that always is available. Recognizing the divine presence that has no beginning and no ending, that is love and overflowing love and overflowing love and overflowing love. And is everywhere powerful, everywhere palpable, and everywhere present. How good it is to know this truth this morning and every day. And so knowing this divine presence that is everywhere and created all things out of itself, knowing that this presence is right now expressing through and as each of us and through this service, through this gathering. And so I know then that everything is a blessing this morning, the music and the technology and the live stream and the songs and the voices and the laughter and the clapping and the message, all of it is God expressing. And so we just allow it to be and allow it to bless not only ourselves, but our families, our friends, our beloved country. For what happens here in this space is a blessing everywhere. And so with deep gratitude, I release this word. I know that it is complete and that all is well. And we say together, and so it is. And so it is. And Dr. Damon Miller will come up now and do the announcements. And Dr. Damon is our board treasurer.
No. I did. Just okay. No, just that part. Maybe later. Okay, I'll work it out. So we have a couple of things coming up that are chances for fellowship and fun. And that word fun was made very simple, so we'd use it a lot. Okay, it's out of context, it sounds fun, but fun. And one is bowling with the board. And that's going to be, Reverend Rasheryl's going to be there. And it's this week, so it's Thursday, June 12th, 6:30 to 8 at Bolero in San Jose. And you can register for that online using the link in the weekly newsletter, which is online and from the website. And it's down in San Jose. It's easy to get to, a lot of parking. And next is Summer Solstice Karaoke. We're going to welcome the Summer Solstice Friday, June 20th. And that's going to be hosted by Audrey, our very own board member. Yay! So it says here that there will be music that we make. Laughter, potluck food, and it's bring your own drink, bring your own favorite beverage. And so again, RSVP online for that, and the link on the newsletter or on the website. And then there are two things that happen every weekday morning. The first is 7:15 and 7:25. You meet Reverend Rasheryl at the Campbell track and walk with the Rev. Walk.
There's some people in this room that are doing it.
Yeah, well, it got some applause. And Monday through Friday also at 9, join Reverend for Reverend Rasheryl on Zoom. Again, the link is on the website, but morning meditation from 9 to 9:30. And it's a great place to have a first early in the day meditation, and then she prays us all up, everybody who shows up, which is really great. And then at the end of this service, is Reverend Sherry going to be here today?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, she's here right here.
Oh, there she is. I was looking that way. But there she is. Yeah, okay. So Reverend Sherry provides personal prayer after service we'll set that up. Private prayer requests can also be written down and put in the prayer box, which we'll bring in and put up here at the end of the service. And then finally, this is a favorite of mine, we're doing on Father's Day, which is in a week, we're doing with Reverend Rasheryl, myself, and Mark Hurwitz, who's also on the board, will be doing a thing on healing the father relationship. So that's going to be powerful and heartfelt. Yes. And it's a conversation you won't want to miss. So you can always find us at siliconvalleycsl.com. You can email us there. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
This next song is called I Am Willing. It's by Kit Holmes. Thank you, Kit Holmes, for this song. The lyrics, I am willing to be the change I wish to see. It's a really beautiful song, but the words in particular really speak to what we love so much about our community and Center for Spiritual Living. I hope you enjoy it. It's featuring Jenna on vocals.
To open my heart, I am willing to be the change I it's all love, 'cause I am willing to listen to the still small voice in me. I am willing to open my mind. I am willing to be the change I wish to see. And I know that it's all good, 'cause I am willing to listen to the still small voice in me. I am willing to open my life. I am willing to be the change I wish to see. And I know that I can trust, 'cause I am willing to listen to the still small voice in me. I am willing to listen to the still small voice in me.
Jenna, that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Jenna Brown, everyone. Let's have a big round of applause. Jenna Brown and the Core. Oh my goodness gracious. So beautiful. So sweet and so powerful. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Kit Holmes. Kit is actually a friend of ours, mine and my mom's, and Kit would come to sing at in Santa Cruz, at CSL Santa Cruz. My mom had a Wednesday night service like 15 years ago, and Kit would come as the musical inspiration. And then, so I knew Kit at that point, and then Kit and I were in ministerial school at the same time. So thank you for selecting that song. And hey, Kit, how you doing? So I'll make sure that I tag her on Facebook for this. All right, so guess what we're talking about this month? Do y'all remember? Courage, right? It's the art of courage, the art of courage. So last week, we talked about pray up. Remember that? Oh, yeah. It seems like a long time ago, doesn't it? I feel like we got to find some way to be connected in the middle of the week, because Sunday to Sunday feels like a very long time. But last week I talked about praying up and really talking about how right now what is required is that we have courage, right? The courage to pray up, the courage to lean on the divine presence, no matter what the external picture, no matter what the craziness, the chaos, but having the courage to move into prayer, to move into the knowing that there is only one presence and power, and that it is available to us to use us and for us to use it, right? And to lean into that spiritual practice even when things seem to be going just insane, right? So we talked about that last week. And then this week, I'm talking about show up, because it takes courage to show up, right? And so frequently what happens is we think about showing up physically. Like if I do some stuff, I got to do some things to show that I'm showing up. And I want to, and that's part of it, yes, but I want to talk about some other ways to show up, right? Other ways to show up. And why it is an act of courage. I think when we look around right now at all that is going on, there's like this constant drumbeat of headlines of chaos and disaster and instability and conflict and strife happening. And it's easy to want to check out, right? It's easy to want to just check out, be on an island called Netflix and, just stay there, right? It's very easy to do that. And sometimes we need to do that just to have some sanity, right? We do need to do that. But it takes courage also just to show up. And so I want to start first with showing up for yourself, because how you show up for yourself is how you show up for God, and then it reflects in how you show up for other people. It's all the same thing. So let's talk about that. So let me talk first, because sometimes it's easier to see something clearly when we talk about what we don't want, right? So some of the ways that we don't show up for ourselves that I see happening a lot right now with myself, with my clients, all around me. So one is when energy begins to move through you in a certain way, like something wants to express through you, and you suppress that, right? You suppress that, right? Or you divert it, or you act like that energy is not there, or that desire, or that thought, or that idea, and you suppress it, right? That is not showing up for yourself. Because that energy that is within you that is stirring, that desire within you that is stirring, that little voice within you that is stirring, that voice wants to express. It is the divine presence, right? It is the divine implanted in you, the divine spark that wants to show up, that wants to express, that wants to stretch out as your life. And so when we suppress that, or we act like that is not there, then we don't show up for ourselves. We abandon ourselves. We abandon our deepest desire. We abandon the divine within us that created us. We abandon that which it wants to express through us. Are y'all following what I'm saying? Right? So the divine has created us, and it created us specifically and uniquely because there's something it wants to express that can only express through us. And when we don't honor that, we're out of alignment. We're out of integrity. We're contributing to the out of integrity that's happening in the world. We contribute to that vibration when we don't honor that call, right? So the way that we show up for ourselves then is we acknowledge that desire. We acknowledge that stirring. We acknowledge that voice. We acknowledge that within us that wants to be bigger and greater and play differently or show up differently or be different, right? And so, as I said last week, this is Pride Month, right? This is a month of showing up as your unique self, of claiming that, of coming out, of standing in the truth of who you are, that each one is made uniquely. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes, right? So showing up means honoring that still small voice, yeah? Another thing we do when we don't show up for ourselves, and I'm talking to myself here, when we judge or deny our body's needs, right? Because we have this body that is a temple of the divine spark. It is the house that the Spirit dwells in. And we don't always treat it that way, right? We don't treat it as this beloved instrument, this beloved home, this beloved temple that is housing the most valuable thing ever. And so when we deny ourselves food or water, or we overwork, or we overplay, or we, do the things that are not healthy for us, whatever that looks like, right? Whatever that looks like. Perhaps it is substance abuse or whatever it is that's happening. When we do that, we're not showing up for ourselves. We're not showing up for ourselves. And perhaps it looks like allowing consistent boundary breaches to happen, allowing people to walk all over us, to be a doormat for someone or some place. Sometimes it's work, right? Sometimes we have great boundaries. And this is what I find. Sometimes we have great boundaries in some places, and then there's other places where it's like there are no boundaries, right? And so really looking at your life and going, wait a second, where do I need to have a really lovely boundary? Right? Or where do I have a boundary that I really don't need to have there because it's actually a barrier, right? And so really beginning to look at that for yourself, because that is how we show up for ourselves. We create space, right? We create a container for ourselves to be in, to express in, to interact in, to live in, to thrive and to flourish. And if we don't have those boundaries to do that, we just get trampled over. Just very much like if you plant a garden and you care about what's in that garden and you need to protect it from some of the other elements, like maybe deer or other animals, you put a little fencing, insects, you put a little fencing around it, right? Or you spray some stuff on it that it creates a chemical boundary, yes? Because you want those plants to flourish. You want those crops. Do you have crops? Are we farmers? We're in farmland, right? Actually, I do have a couple of farmers in the room. I forgot about that because we're in farm country. But the point I'm making is in your garden and even in your crops, you have boundaries, right? So that they can be protected, they can grow. And so I'm inviting you into right now to look for yourself. Do you have those things in place that allow you to flourish and grow? Do you have those things in place that allow you to feel safe to navigate through this turbulent time that we're in? Yeah. So this is really about having the courage to do that, because it takes courage to show up for yourself. We are socialized, many of us are socialized to put other people before us, particularly I think if you're a parent, right? Put other people before us, right? And we all know the very trite saying, you got to put your own oxygen mask on first, right? You have to show up for yourself first before you can fully show up for someone else, let alone the world. And what's happening is I see so many people running out to show up for the world from a place of not being aligned internally, not being aligned with spirit, not being showing up for themselves, yet going out with that consciousness trying to fix the world. It creates more chaos, right? It creates more misalignment. Yeah. So another thing is, and this happens a lot, and I'm again talking to myself. When you're physically there, but mentally and wholeheartedly you're not. Anybody have that experience? Right? You're physically there, like I see the person's mouth moving, but I'm a million miles away, right? I am not present. Yeah, and this happens so frequently because all of us have a lot going on. Yes. And so it takes courage to really show up, let go of whatever your mind is holding on to, let go of whatever your ego wants to play with and dance with, let go of that, and literally just show up for the person in front of you or the people in front of you, right? It takes courage to do that, to let go and drop the other things. And so I invite you into that, though, because in my corporate work, one of my areas of expertise as a coach is called executive presence or leadership presence. And what that means is it's a leader's ability to show up authentically, to engage, to inspire, to motivate others, to build teams, and to really be able to be empathetic and also drive results. Right, so that's what, and typically in my coaching practice, I used to work with a lot of folks in tech, who, particularly men in tech, who were brilliant, but were not great people leaders, right, or needed help with people leadership. Like, how do I engage and inspire an audience? How do I motivate people to get something done? How do I lead my people through a challenge or navigate through difficult terrain, right? How do I communicate in ways that get that result? And so one of the things I would notice, and I always would say to my clients, and still do, is in order to have great executive or leadership presence, you have to be present first, right? You have to show up wholeheartedly first, because you don't have great presence when you're distracted, right? Just think about it. When you're in a conversation with someone who you can tell is distracted, their energy is down, right? You're not engaged because they're not fully in, and so you're not fully in, yes? And so the precursor to having great presence is you have to be present. So you have to be wholeheartedly in with your mind, with your heart, with your ears, with your presence, and totally engaged in order for that communication to then become engaging where you can then actually inspire or touch or move people, right? If I was standing here and I was like, today we're going to talk about change or courage or something like that. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how we show up for ourselves. Like if I did that the whole time, and we have some new first-time visitors here, so you would be out the door, right? You'd be out the door like, what is going on? I'm not sitting through this for 20 minutes, right? And so being present is so important because it creates the connection between you and the other individual, right? It creates that connection between the God in you and the God in them, right? It opens the door to that connection, right? And then it becomes engaging. Then someone becomes inspiring. Then you're motivated to move, right? So try this at home, which is what I tell my clients. Try this at home with your beloveds, with your children, with your spouse. See what happens if you really show up and you're really present from the very beginning, right? You're present in a different way, and watch what happens if you begin to practice that, right? And so I'm talking now about what happens and why we don't show up for ourselves. And here's the thing that's so interesting. When we don't show up for ourselves, we're not showing up for God, right? Because the presence of God is within each of us. And so if we're not showing up for ourselves, we're not showing up for the divine, yeah? And so here's the thing that's so interesting. I love this beautiful Psalm 139 that I want to read for you. So buckle in because I took a long segment of it. But I will say that one of the things in Science of Mind, one of the things that we teach is God is everywhere, right? Ernest Holmes says, there's not a spot where God is not. God is everywhere. And God always shows up for us. He says, the ancients said that God's center is everywhere and his circumference is nowhere, right? God is everywhere, always showing up for us. We are the ones who turn our backs or move away from the presence, right? And Psalm 139 says this so beautifully. So I'm going to read this slowly. Drink this in and really feel this in the depth of your soul as I read this through. And it talks about the Lord is always near. So here's what the psalmist wrote. You have looked deep into my heart, Lord, and you know all about me. You know when I am resting or when I am working, and from heaven you discover my thoughts. You notice everything I do and everywhere I go. Before I even speak a word, you know what I will say. And with your powerful arm, you protect me from every side. I can't understand all of this. Such wonderful knowledge is far above me. Where could I go to escape from your spirit or from your sight? If I were to climb up to the highest heavens, you would be there. If I were to dig down to the world of the dead, you would also be there. Suppose I had wings like the dawning day and flew across the ocean. Even then, your powerful arm would guide and protect me. Or suppose I said, I'll hide in the dark until night comes to cover me over. But you see in the dark, because daylight and dark are all the same to you. You are the one who put me together inside my mother's body, and I praise you because of the wonderful way you created me. Everything you do is marvelous. Of this I have no doubt. Nothing about me is hidden from you. I was secretly woven together out of human sight, but with your own eyes you saw my body being formed. Even before I was born, you had written my name in your book, and you know everything about me. Even before I was born, you had written in your book everything about me. Is that amazing? Right? Is that amazing? This realization that God is closer than we can even imagine. And it created us out of itself. It knew us before we were formed in our mother's wombs. And this is why it is so ridiculous to have all of these divisions that we create as humans of race and gender and sexual orientation. And all. It's ridiculous. God created each of us, out of itself, and it knows us intimately. And it created us exactly the way we are for a reason. And so we are all valuable. We are all worthy. We are all here with a divine purpose. We are all here for a reason. No one is left out. No one is outside of the love of God. No one is outside of the power of God. And so especially at Pride Month, where I stand with my sisters and brothers, right? And I want you to hear these words. No one is outside God's love, because God created each one out of its own self, out of its own fabric, right? So my question for you is, if we feel the truth of those words, then how could we not show up to God, to Spirit? Right? How could we not enter into our meditative practice where we commune with the divine? How could we not do our prayer practice? That is our way of communicating with Spirit and harnessing the power that God is to transform and change our lives and the world around us. How could we not spend stillness and quiet and contemplation reading the Word, whatever word moves you, whether it is the Bible, whether it is the Bhagavad Gita, whether it is, whatever it is? How could we not spend time with the divine when it knew us since before the beginning? It knows everything about us. It created us out of such love. And so why would we not show up for that? Because it shows up for us, right? It is showing up for us in every single moment. And the beautiful thing about Spirit is it is always there, no matter how far away we think we have gotten from it. It is always just waiting, standing at the door, waiting for us to open it, right? And the world right now needs us to open the door. The world right now needs us to show up, right? And so the first thing is, how do I show up for myself? Because that is the portal to showing up for Spirit. So taking care of myself, having good boundaries for myself, doing my spiritual practice, doing my meditation, doing the prayer work, taking classes, being in spiritual community, right? These are the ways we begin to show up for ourselves and for God, right? And then from that consciousness, we then begin to serve in the world, not the opposite way around, right? Because right now we are on such a thin line, a thin precipice of which way we're going to go. We're on a very, very thin line. And it does not take people running out unhinged and resisting and fighting back unhinged. It doesn't take that. Some people, that might be their path. But what it takes is for those of us who are awake and who are conscious to do our own work, to hold and do our spiritual work and our spiritual work for the world, and let God move us into whatever it is we're to do in terms of supporting and shifting what is happening. But a problem can't be solved at the level of the problem. And we've tried the human ways, right? And it's not sustainable. So there has to be a spiritual transformation that happens, and it happens here, person by person by person by person, practice by practice by practice by practice, right? So if each person here would up their spiritual practice by 10% this week, exponentially the impact would be incredible, right? If each person here would invite other people on Sundays into this community so that we begin to really stoke a consciousness of oneness and stoke a consciousness of wholeness and stoke a consciousness of each of us is valuable, the result would be exponential, right? And so I'm inviting you into showing up, like really showing up, even though there are things that want to pull our attention. Yeah? Are y'all with me? Am I being too fussy? I feel, I hear people who, I'm hearing some feedback I've gotten over the last couple of years since I've been a minister, where people are like, can't you tell a funny story? Like, why don't you tell a funny story? Or why can't you tell and I realize, I feel like I'm up here like preaching, Do you want more funny stories? Yeah, okay, yeah. So I have 2 little ones who want more funny stories. I'm sorry I can't help y'all out. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I try to find, it has to be organic. Like I just can't find, how Joel Osteen at the top of his talks, I like Joel Osteen, and he always has like some funny joke he tells, and it's like, that's just, it's not me. No. So we'll just keep going, and you'll just tell me if I'm too fussy, yes? Okay, all right. Yeah. So the last thing I want to say about showing up, is really pushing through resistance when you show up for others, right? Or when you show up to something. Wait, let me figure out. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, so I'm going to be honest here. So yesterday I had to attend an event that I was excited to attend, but had some mixed feelings about attending. And I was never not going to attend, right? But part of spiritual growth means that you have to show up, right? You have to show up. It doesn't matter how you feel about a thing, you show up, right? It doesn't matter what people have done or not done, you show up. Yes. And you show up as pure and undefended and as centered and anchored as you possibly can. And you let people be however they need to be, right? And so it was such a beautiful experience to walk through that because it didn't feel good initially because, I'm thinking, okay, what's going to happen and what's this and what's that? And finally I just had to give it to God. It's like, I'm just showing up. And it was a beautiful, beautiful time. I got to hug people, see some people I hadn't seen in a long time, and also realize with great clarity that I am in my absolute right place. Not that I ever questioned it, but that I'm in my absolute right place, doing exactly what I am born to do and called to do. And I realized there was a speaker yesterday who's my mentor, Dr. Edward Viljoen, who's the senior minister at CSL Santa Rosa. And he was talking about a calling, like when ministers get a calling or ministerial students get a calling. And so he was describing different ways that may happen. And one thing that I got so strongly and that I remembered is when I resigned from my last role, as I was going through that process, I felt the power of being a minister started to amplify through me. It was a very strange experience. And I remember other people asking, are you going to continue being a minister? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so all in. Even though it was a very difficult transition in lots of ways, something within me was called into ministry even more in walking through that process. And it's hard to explain. I hope you can feel what I'm saying. But it was something about the challenge, and there were things happening that were extremely challenging, probably some of the biggest leadership challenges I've had. And even through all of that, I felt even more called to be a minister, right? Even more called. It was like it started amplifying and amplifying and amplifying. And so I don't know why exactly I'm sharing this, except to say that there was something about even going through that experience, being willing to show up and to show up and to show up, that sort of pushed me even more into my purpose, right? It pushed me even more into my purpose. And so I want to invite you into that. There may be things that you're going through right now that are difficult or challenging, and just show up. Just do your prayer work. Just get centered in spirit. Just put one foot in front of the other, and you will be amplified in the purpose that is your purpose and the calling that is your calling, right? It will sharpen you and ready you for what is next. And I believe when we look at the collective, that is actually what's happening, although it's very, very difficult to look at the collective, right? But I truly believe that there's an amplification, there is a purification that is happening for more and more of the divine to be visible, available, present here on the planet, right? But it's unsettling as we go through it, yeah. So this is why we show up and we do our work. So here's my question for you. How are you going to show up for yourself or for spirit this week? Just yell it out. Meditate. Okay. Dance. Meditate and dance. I love it. Go bowling. Go bowl. Yes. Go bowling. And I'm going to show up for bowling, which I love. And you've never seen a better gutter ball than I can throw. And I love it. So I haven't been bowling in such a long time, so I hope you'll join us. Make sure you sign up so we'll know who's coming. What else? How are you going to show up for yourself? Be present. Listen. Exercises. Time in nature. Did you say something? Marina? Okay, I thought you said something. Oh, be present. Okay, all right, wonderful. Okay, so everybody has their assignment for the week, yes? Of how they're going to show up for themselves and for spirit this week. I would love for you to join me at 9 o'clock in meditation. I will zap you up with the most powerful prayer ever if you're in that space with me. And we pray for the whole center anyway when we're together. So y'all are all prayed up with us. And so I'd love for you to join me at 9 o'clock for that. And if you want to walk at 7:15-ish, notice the ish, we meet at Campbell Track to really walk around. At Santa Rosa, they call it the Spirit Walk. I have to ask them, can I borrow that? I like that, actually. But in any event, right now we're walking with the Rev, so we walk the Campbell Track if you want to do that in the mornings, okay? Okay, beloveds, let's turn within, shall we? Did I miss anything? No? Do I have it? Okay. Let's turn within, everybody. Do you know how much I love being here with y'all? Can you tell? I enjoy myself. I enjoy myself. I love being here with everybody. All right, so let's turn within. And so as we settle within, we just, again, simply sense and feel that presence that is closer than a heartbeat, closer than hands and feet. And truly, we hear Ernest Holmes' words, there is not a spot where God is not. God is everywhere, present and powerful. And so what I know, once again, and I know always, is that this presence that is everywhere shows up for us every time, in every way possible. And it created each of us out of itself, and so we are each blessed magnificently. And so I speak a special word of blessing for each one here, declaring and knowing magnificent abundance and prosperity. I am knowing for anyone, anywhere who is struggling with finances or struggling with making it all work financially, I speak a word of abundance and knowing that flow is released, overflow is released for each one. Oh, how good it is to speak the word of love and knowing that for each one in relationship, whether it is children or spouse or family member or work friends or colleagues, whatever it is, I am knowing that each one is in relationships and community where each one is loved and cherished and lifted and respected and celebrated, absolutely celebrated. Oh, and how good it is to know that the health and vitality of spirit is coursing through the veins of each one. Every cell, organ, tissue, system, function is alive with energy and vitality. This is what I know. And so I'm grateful to know this truth and to speak the word this morning. So grateful to know it. And with deep gratitude and knowing that our beloved center is blessed, and each one in this space is blessed, and each one online watching now and later is blessed. Each one who is coming is blessed. I just give thanks. And I release this word, I let it be, and I let it go. We say together, and so it is. And so it is. Amen.
The words to this song are, life is knocking at your door. This is the time to let your soul lead the way. That's a part of the chorus, and if you feel it, please sing with us. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Shake off your misery. Remember what you just been told. Shake off your misery and remember what you just been told. Don't be mistaken, it's time to show up and be bold. So channel what you've been through. Tell a story that matters to you. Take a peek into your mind. Let the spirit be the guide. And find your way back home. You need to learn to let go. Remember you were born free from the victim mentality. Oh, so they could call you crazy, they can call you blind. You can be afraid, yeah, it's alright. Just push through, you push through. Stay true, yeah, yeah, you stay true. When life is knocking at your door, that's the time to let your soul lead the way. Knocking at your door, that's the time to let your soul lead the way. No doubt I'm gonna thank the heat. I won't let my heart grow cold. There's no need to be living a lie. I take control. When the fear starts to creep in, take a moment, sit still when I need it. To breathe and listen, but then I gotta keep moving. Just control what the mama gave ya. Ain't nobody else gonna do it my way. And I tell you when I take that leap, you know it's bound to be legendary. People see me. Your door, that's the time to let your soul lead the way. When life is knocking at your door, that's the time to let your soul lead the way. When life is knocking at your door, that's the time to let your soul lead the way. Let your soul lead the way.
Oh my gosh. Sonia, Rodrigo, Jenna. Woo, the core. Thank you. How How do you follow that?
That's a good song for us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
So beautiful, and now we've come to our time in our service, and this is our conscious giving time. It's a time where we participate in the divine law of giving and receiving by giving of our tithes and offerings. And so we invite you to join into this sacred practice by tithing here at the Silicon Valley Center for Spiritual Living. We have Damon will be going around passing out. If you have not have your heart, we pass them out every week. And we love it. It's our little heart reminder. So there is a QR code here on the heart, and there's also, for those of you online, you can go to our website, and there is a donation button there. So you can give whether you are in this room or not. And on our heart it says, I have abundance because I am abundance, and so it is. And we also accept your tithe and offering and cash or check here at the front as well. So let us just settle in for a moment and feel this blessing internally, and we send it out to the world as well. So say with me, divine love through me, blesses and multiplies, all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God. And so it is.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Thank you. We have the best band in town. So I want to let you know that right now, Jenna is going to offer a Pride Insight. Jenna?
Thank you, Rev Rasheryl of Silicon Valley Center for Spiritual Living. So I would like to introduce you. My name is Jenna Brown. I'm on the praise team, and I'm giving an insight talk right now. This is an LGBTQ plus figure from American history. Their name was Public Universal Friend. They were born in a Rhode Island Quaker community in 1752, assigned female at birth and given the name Jemima Wilkinson. This person had a near-death illness in 1776 at around 24 years old and had a profound spiritual awakening when they recovered. When they woke up, they declared that their former self had died and that they had been reborn as Public Universal Friend with no gender, and they were here to preach about God. So that's what they did around 1776 and onward, and insisted on being referred to with gender-neutral language. So whenever everybody queerish gets asked, are you a boy or are you a girl? I've even asked it as a child of people. And so when people asked them that, are you a boy or a girl? They would just say, I am that I am. Because they knew that there's no limits or separation in God, and that they would go around the country preaching that anyone has access to God's light and has the free will to choose what to think and believe and how to act based on that. So they did get their gender and sexuality was politicized in the Revolutionary era, just like it is often today. And so some of the Quaker communities disowned the Friend for, quote, distinguishing themselves from humanity. But really, they just didn't want to distinguish between different categories that didn't serve their truth, and they refused to play the separation game. So that pairs perfectly with science of mind principles. Ernest Holmes wrote in the What We Believe document, we believe in the unity of all life, for we understand that the life of all is God, that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit, that heaven is within us, and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. The public universal friend was a living demonstration of those truths, refusing to allow their message to be filtered through false gender expectations. They embodied the principle that our infinite variety is not a division, but a glorious manifestation of the one. And today we can use the friend as a reminder of our own eternal I am, while embracing our unique expression. However, our expression shifts over time as we continually realize the boundless truth of who we are. The end. And now I'm going to acknowledge our production team, Scott McCauley and Hector Torres. And now we are welcoming our first-time visitors. Any first-time visitors in the house? We've got one. Yay! You'll be receiving a little favor from us. Do you want to introduce yourself at all, how you came here?
I'll introduce her.
Okay.
This is my best friend in the whole wide world. She has been with me through thick and thin. It's a long story. And I'm so happy that she could visit us today. Her name is Dion.
Dion, welcome. Thank you.
I'm just taking everything in, listening, and you're beautiful. You're all beautiful.
Thank you. Welcome.
Inviting me.
Are there any second-time visitors in here? Third time? 7, 15, 20? Are we at 20? Yeah. All right, so next Sunday will be our special Father's Day episode. Come on up.
Okay, so it's our Father's Day episode?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
It's the special.
It's a special Father's Day episode entitled Season 1, yes, Episode 1, right? This is our pilot. We'll see how this goes. It is, the talk is titled Healing the Father Relationship. And so even if you had a fantastic relationship with your dad, there may be some healing, or maybe if you are a dad, there's some healing about being a father. And maybe there's a collective healing that needs to take place. But I'll be talking with Dr. Damon Miller, who is our board treasurer, and Mark Hurwich, who is also on the board. And we will be having, I'll be interviewing them, so to speak, about the father relationship and how do we heal that, and some of their experience as well as sons and as fathers. So I invite you, if this speaks to you or you have folks in your life who this would speak to them, I invite you to join us for a very, very special time next week as we explore healing the father relationship. And I think that's it. Reverend Dr. Sherry will be doing prayer. I guess you're still over here?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you need prayer, Reverend Dr. Rashery F. McCreary, who some people know, will be doing prayer with you after service.
All right.
Wait, can I just say how incredible Jenna was in her? She's such a grown-up. Look at her. Such a grown-up.
Finally a grown-up at 30 plus years old.
I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm still growing too.
You are. So funny. So I just have to say this once again. I know I've said this before, and all of you who've worked with me have seen incredible transformations in yourselves, and I see it. And because Jenna's standing right here with me, I just have to say, the transformation from 3 years ago to right now is astounding and so beautiful to behold. Inspiring, yes. Even the production crew is waving their hands back there.
Thank you.
Yes, everyone. Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful. And hey, Jenna's mom and dad, I know you watch, and we love her, as you can see. Also, I want to
visit me.
Yes. Yes. So last couple of things, we're going to sing our final song. I'll do the benediction. Then I'm going to walk to the back door so that I can see everybody. I don't get stuck up here. I can see everybody when we come out, all right? And I want to say hello to Jim Pena. Hey, Jim, we love you. Everyone say hi to Jim. He's at home today. And so he couldn't get in today, but he texted me and said, I'm watching online. So we love you, Jim. So when you leave, be sure to wave at Jim as you head out of here, okay? All right, let's sing our final song, I Release and Let Go. And I feel like there's something else I'm supposed to say.
You're just clinging on to this beautiful feeling we have.
Okay. Should I let go of it?
Yeah, let it go.
Okay, I'm letting go. Let's release and let go, y'all.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
I show up for myself with love and courage. I show up for God with trust and devotion. I show up for others with compassion and grace. I am fully present. I am divinely guided. I am courage in motion. And so it is. Have a great week, everybody.